A man and his girlfriend are on vacation in a mysterious village. Unexpectedly, it was a hell-on-earth. Men were seen as tools of giving birth. Today I will review a horror movie is Midsommar. A group of students go to a remote Swedish village for a summer activity. Some people disappeared, some died, all related to heresy in the locality. This film contains a lot of Northern European customs and folklore. The main actress Dagi falls into depression because her family members commit suicide. So her boyfriend Christian invited her to Sweden. Join a 9-day summer activity with 3 other friends. The group of friends coming to the village of Halda has been isolated by the world. The first part of the ceremony had a lady jumping down from a cliff. The guests were all threatened. Then a man also jumped down from the cliff. But he did not die immediately. He was beaten to death by the villagers. There were 2 tourists who were cursed, and the next day they lost their character in a confusing way. Even stranger, the students also disappeared one by one. There were only Donnie with her boyfriend Christian left. At the prom, Donnie won the title of Queen in May. Her boyfriend was fascinated by the girls of the village again. He went with them to a room. 10 girls watched him, and another girl make love. Unfortunately, Donnie saw it all. She was very desperate. At the last ritual of summer night, the villagers needed 9 lives to sacrifice for their ancestors. 4 people are from the village who are from elsewhere. The last one to be appointed by the queen of the prom is Donnie. She chose her boyfriend, Christian, and 8 bodies are taken to the chalet. Then they were burned. The film opens with the sacrifices of 2 old men. They jumped down from the cliff. This custom in the German of Northern Europe really does exist. In some villages, displacement is divided into 4 phases. Before the age of 18 is spring. From 18 to 36 years old is summer. 36 to 54 years old is autumn. 54 to 72 years old is winter. The 2 grandparents in the movie are probably over 72 years old, so they choose to commit suicide to ensure the vitality of the village. Also, for young people to have a better living space. Perhaps the best segment is probably the prom. After picking up the girl taking the hallucinogenic medicine, they dance around the stallman. The game rules are very simple. Who can persevere to the end will become the Queen of May, will receive the highest respect from the villagers. Because Donnie is depressed, her emotions are suppressed. So she danced with all her might to vent her sadness. In the end, she won. This dance ball is very similar to the folk legend of Sweden. In the legend, there is a devil who makes others dance to death. The name of the devil, Haga, is also the name of the village. There is also a scene in the movie. Christian boyfriend, after being pulled into a bedroom with the girls, he was turned into a fertility tool. When Christian arrived in the village, he was very welcomed by the girls. This redeemed girl. To seduce Christian, she places a wish list on his bed, poisoning on his drink. Christian finishes drinking, mentally unsettled. Finally, he caused something. In the small closed village passed down from generation to generation, marrying someone who shares the same bloodline is more prone to defects. In German Northern Europe, witches are like this. The girls will think of ways to fascinate men from the outside. The heroine Donnie also witnessed that. Donnie was taken to a room by the girls in the village. Then they all held their heads in pain. Why do they do that? In fact, the heresy that has a magic to control people's minds is empathy. When one is happy, the rest are happy. Similarly, a person feel hurt, then the rest of other people was too. Donnie has been assimilated by the villagers into a villager. The movie has even more horror. 2 foreign tourists cursed for dissatisfaction with the village's pagan customs. The next day they were turned into sacrifices. This stems from an ancient Norwegian penalty known as the blood angel. In the movie, because tourists hold the customs here, should have been cursed by the villagers. After death they will not be at peace. A friend of Donnie defecated next to the village's ancestral burial ground, and he was brutally skinned by the villagers. Here you can see that the villagers here are very fond of trees. Is related to a Norse mythology. There is a great tree. Everything proliferated under that tree. But the skinning punishment was the humiliating method the Vikings treated their enemies. The Vikings also called the Norse pirates from the 8th century to the 11th century. Finally, we talk about the number 9 appearing in the movie. Every summer night celebration 90 years apart. Held once during the 9-day maintenance period. In Norse mythology, this number 9 seems to pierce some kind of magic power that represents great consummation. Commit all kinds of crimes in the hearts of the villagers, but with no shame. Because they think that human life does not have any shortcomings. This movie is like an explanation book. Articulates some characteristics of heresy. Gesture a person or a ritual to the point of being blind. The village also exhibits strong extremism. The villagers have absolute control. Tourists disagree with the customs here. They will be brutally murdered. And the heroine Donnie. Because she was assimilated, she escaped the fate of being killed. But is this luck or bad luck? How do you feel about this movie? Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos.